Hey, it says on there we're live. Ow.
Oh, that's if you're sleeping. See if you're dreaming. I'm sorry.
Hey everyone, thanks for stopping in at J Hood Creative tonight on a Friday night free-for-all.
Woo!
Hey, Coach Vic got a few things in, and he said, "Hey, you got anything new?" And I said, "Not really, but I'll find something." So decided to get together a real quick Friday show just to show off a few things. Weather's been nice outside up until this weekend. We've had like 70s, 75 degree weather. Been able to keep the windows open and everything.
Yeah.
So as things go, I my wife and I were like, we got to do all this yard work, and we're like, okay, let's get all the preliminary stuff done, plan out what we want, get the pricing, order the stuff. Of course, by the time we do that, it's 90 degrees out.
It's hot.
So
I am still perspiring a little bit.
So tomorrow I'll be out in it.
Who did all the markings in your yard?
The power company and the cable company and the gas company.
Are you doing that much work, or are they doing something else?
No, if you're going to dig, you got to call 2 days ahead so they can tell you where not to dig.
Oh, okay.
I see you, Rob Boswell. Mm-hmm.
It's nice to see you back online, Rob. Hopefully I can get your show rescheduled. Did you get it rescheduled from this afternoon? We'll find out in about 10 minutes.
He's a fan of my T-shirt. Coincidentally, two of the things I have to show tonight have to do with T-shirts. So.
Woohoo!
K. Titus joining us from Japan. Good to see you, man.
And congratulations on your win today.
Rob says his internet is still down. Metarog's joining us. Wonder why Metarog's here. All right. So since I've got the fewest things to show, I'll go first, and then you can take the show.
Okay, that'll work.
All right. So, T-shirts. Our sponsor, who I forgot to put a link in our show notes, is Al Shell. He's my co-host on Saturday mornings, and this shirt's coming across more blue on screen than it is in real life. It's kind of like a teal.
Yeah, it looks more purplish there.
But this is one of Al's designs. I like the fact that even though when I was looking at it on the website, the color was really punchy, and this has got that kind of a little bit of a faded old school look, so that's cool. So do you know the reference for the Power logo?
Well, I assume it's either Girl Power or Power Rangers or Power Man or...
Not at all. None of the above.
Then I'll just say no.
Okay, so Power Records, have you ever seen like a book and record set?
Yes.
And who was in the book and record set that you've seen?
I don't remember. I was like a kid.
Okay. So they did a bunch of superhero ones. They did like Star Trek and like Marvel Comics, some DC Comics too. They did like Man Bat and stuff like that.
Okay.
But Power Records was the name of the company that put those out.
Nice.
So, I'm highlighting the wrong chat. So I went ahead and got this one too.
I never knew you're such a Scooby fan.
Not unlike Scooby, I've got Speed Buggy.
Speed Buggy. Oh man, I remember Speed Buggy. Wow.
Yeah, right.
They don't make cartoons cool like that anymore.
I know, but when the knock against Speed Buggy is if you break it down, it's Scooby Doo. So, but I don't know, for some reason, Speed Buggy always stuck out to me as one of the cartoons I really liked when I was a kid. So.
Yeah.
Let's see, who else have we got stopping in? We got nobody else but me. He likes the Speed Buggy.
Speed Buggy.
Well, we're in the same boat. All right, so those are two things. I just happened to get these today. Ordered them like
There you go.
a month ago.
You get ready to just ball them up and throw them somewhere.
Yeah. So I went to our LCS and did a little, still not going in the store, but doing a curbside pickup.
Yeah, it's nice. They'll bring it out to you.
All you got to do is call them, tell them you're coming, and then when you get there, call them again. They'll bring it out. And of course, we're talking about Buy Me Toys. It's our local LCS, so I picked up the latest issue of Something is Killing the Children.
You really like that, right?
I do. I have to admit, in my life, there are times when you read comics and you can like concentrate on them, and then there are times when you read comics and there's like three other things going on, and there were like three things going on during the 15 minutes it took me to read this. So I should go back and reread it. I want to go back and reread like the second story arc. The first 5 issues are it all continues. It's not like there's a real stopping point between the story arcs, but
well, kind of like how Once in the Future, the real first story is like 1 through 6. I was like, well, this is selling, so let's keep it going.
Right, exactly. So the issues, I guess 6 and 7 now, to me haven't been quite as strong as the earlier ones. So I want to go back and reread them when I can concentrate on them more.
And oddly enough, that's probably the only Boom title that I haven't read. And I've heard nothing but good things about it.
Well, you know me and my whole thing about if I'm going to spend a lot of money, well, not a lot of money, spend enough cover price on a comic, I don't want it to be a one-potty read.
Right.
These are all one-potty reads, unfortunately, but they're good enough that they keep me coming back. So it's a series that if you're into it, getting into this late, you might just go for the trade. The next issue, book I bought was Adventure Man.
I almost got that. That is thick.
It is. It's for, is it $3.99?
I think so.
I took off my glasses. Yeah, $3.99. But it is a double-size issue, and if you know Terry Dotson and his wife Rachel, they do very quality work. I'm always a bit leery of them though, because usually the stories just aren't enough to grab me. And John and White Whale did a book club episode about it, and I listened to them. I'm like, maybe I'll pass. But when I saw I only had a few things in my poll, I told them to go ahead and give me the first issue, and I was actually kind of pleasantly surprised. I'll probably get issue 2. Not sure if I'll continue it forever. And then I got latest issue of Legion of Superheroes. It got hot for a minute, and about the hot, so I haven't even bagged and boarded it yet. But it's got first appearance of Monster Boy, a new Dr. Fate, and the Gold Lantern. I guess that's the big deal in that issue.
Oh, the new guy, the new color.
Yep. So I haven't read this one yet. Looking forward to that. And then the last issue I picked up was the new issue of Batman. I went ahead and bit the bullet and put Batman on my pull list. I was dwindling down to 6 or 8 titles a month on my pull. So I was like, I've been kind of actually digging the Batman stuff, even regardless of the whole Punchline thing. So I figured, let's make it official.
Regardless of the hype.
Yeah. And then I went and got something a little old school. Now, I'm one of those unique collectors that on occasion will hold a reprint in higher regard than the original source material.
Okay.
And that is especially the case when it comes to Bronze Era horror. So The Witching Hour was a DC Bronze Age horror series. Each issue had 3 or 4 different horror stories in it. But the thing about The Witching Hour is that Alex Toth, who is one of my favorite artists of all time, did the introduction pieces. So, and the reason I like him in this format is you get a big chunk. In this case, it's like 550 pages. This one is out of print, and to find it at a reasonable price is the trick. Originally, it was $20 cover price, which is a lot of value for that. But it can go for up to $100 because it's out of print and it is The Witching Hour. But I got this for I think 25 shipped on eBay.
Wow.
So it's one of those books that I was like it's on my long-term hunt list where it's like if I find it, I find it. If I don't, I'm not going to go out and pay a whole lot of money for
the whole thing, or just in that book?
This book. I've flirted around with buying the original issues, but they're really pricey, like 50, 60, $100, depending on the first 12 issues each.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, it's after it's not pre-code horror, but it's done in the style of that, and that it's dark, creepy stuff. So here's Bernie Wrightson. So you get some issues. You've got Alex Toth, Bernie Wrightson, and Neil Adams all in the same issue. And then one of the things I like, what I mentioned specifically, Bronze Age horror. There's more Bernie Wrightson. Is that you get it in black and white, so you really get to take in the artwork, and it's kind of original form, even though it is still on newsprint, not on anything, not on glossy paper or anything like that. But you get to see the line art, in the line art and Bernie Wrightson. It's pretty meticulous. So
Yeah.
if you were to go and find the original issue, depending on what standards they were keeping as far as the quality of the printing, it looks a little muddy. The blacks aren't pure black, things like that. So
That'll get you in trouble, but
it's not black enough. So yeah,
heard that before.
The Witching Hour, and this is what they call it, the showcase edition. I've also got I've got one over there, the House of Secrets. House of Mystery. I got the first House of Mystery showcase as well that I bought off the shelf back in the day. So that's what I've got. Let's see who's joining us in the chat. We've got Warlord coming in. Thanks for stopping in, bud. Hey, nobody else but me. Welcome back to the hobby, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, since we're showing random stuff, I'll show. So my wife, who loves me dearly, she went to some science show. I think it's just a way to spend money. And she made me this.
Nice.
So one of these days I'm going to be able to put stuff together in the back room that apparently the cat owns and have my own office. And I get to put this up somewhere.
Pretty cool.
Right next to my copy of
So you said she made that? So
yeah, she made it.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot you're an artist. You care about all that. So some sort of paint, and I think these are like decals. These are like decals that they cut out and put on.
Gotcha.
So
very nice.
It's like some sign party, It's like the whole, wine and canvas and
right.
Or is it not wine and canvas? Chardonnay and canvas, whatever. But all those type of Pinot and painting. There you go.
Okay. I know there's
like coffee and canvas, coffee and cookies. I think is what we call it at church. But
gotcha.
Yeah, all the cool stuff that we can't come to because we're guys.
Yeah.
And for my pull list this week, let's see here. And it's funny because each one of these has kind of a story behind it and a little bit of how I pick out books too. So it'll be interesting. Well, when I love Boom books. And so I've heard a lot about this, and Boom talked about how they're releasing this early. So I got it. And so last night on John's book club, they were talking about it, and the other guy said, "This is everything I want a first issue of a book to be." So I stopped watching this, and I'm like, I'll watch it after I read this one. Let's see. Then
hey JP, and Southern Comic Geeks joining us too.
Finger Guns, watching Bueller's show, and he's interviewing the guy who wrote this, and apparently the artist is from St. Louis. And actually, I really liked the first one. And I held off on reading the first one forever because I didn't know when the second one was going to come out.
Gotcha. So
when the second one came out, I read the first one, and I really, really like it.
I'm interested to hear what you think of both of those titles.
Okay.
Because they're ones that intrigue me, that if I was at the comic shop, like standing in front of the rack, and it was there, I probably would pick up the first issues and check them out.
Now, what was this? Marvel. Marvel, they figure out they know how to sell books, right? So there's this series called Outlawed. And I bought it, I read it, I'm like, great. So I was talking to the LCS, like, now you need to let us know which storyline you're going to follow, because the one book was like the intro to like 1,800,000 storylines. And so the next one to come out would have been Spider-Man, Miles Morales Outlawed. And so that one just came out, and I'm like, I like Miles Morales. I like Enter the Spider-Verse. Love that. So hopefully it's the same thing. I know it's the highest book out here. If I want to give me 2,100 for this one, give you 500.
That's not the one.
150.
I think you've got a different Miles book in mind.
Oh, yeah.
A good try though.
And I've been wanting to read a Batman book, because they said this is a continuation of the Batman series.
The animated series.
The animated series. And I think I saw Comic Time with this, maybe. I'm like, well, if he's getting it, then it can't be all that bad. It talked about how cool it is all the villains are here in the building.
Dave Johnson did the cover. He's awesome.
So I'm looking forward to this.
I called the shop and asked them if they had any more of those gray blanks, and they said they didn't, but they're going to check and see if they can get more. So
nice.
I hope to get a few of those.
But these are in blank?
They put out gray blank sketch covers.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So that means you can do, black and then add white on top to do highlights and stuff like that.
Nice.
Cool, different look.
Now, the thing is, because I kind of wanted to find a Batman story to get into, but I wouldn't have got that one. If I would known that this was coming out. Death Metal 1. And so I had to get this because this is intriguing me. And plus, I've seen lots of shows talk about how this is going to be really good. Even today, I was watching Blurred Without Fear. Blurred Without Fear. A guy named Ernie Bird. Blurred. Ernie. He does a great show. Blurred, by the way, is a name for a black nerd. Blurred. That's in case you're curious. And he went into detail, like there's a black ring, there's there's all kinds of stuff. I'm like, I'm glad I watched this show before I read the book, because I would have been all kinds of lost. Yes.
This is a follow-up to another series that was out a couple years ago, right?
Yeah, and that's what he talked about.
Okay.
He mentioned that too. So he kind of gave a brief synopsis of that.
Gotcha.
And then he worked his way through this one. And I was watching Hero and the Kid, and they talked about this series, Kids. And so I said, you know what? It sounds good. I read a synopsis of it online. I've never gotten a Blaze book before. And so I decided, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and get these. So I got the first 2 issues.
I've never heard anything about it, but it looks intriguing.
Yeah. And I like the artwork. I think the art is pretty cool too. So I'm looking forward to reading those. And then, you have a good friend who knows, in my opinion, everything about books, but it's just more than I could ever know. And how many times do they have to tell you to get a book before you're like, okay, I'll get the book? Jamie's been telling me to get this one book several hundred times. So finally, I caved in. I got Strange Adventures. So of course, I picked up Strange Adventures too.
So did you read the first issue?
No, not yet.
But you bought the first issue?
Yeah,
okay.
It's in my stack. I got a stack like this of books I've been trying to work my way through.
Everyone does. Yeah, that was the one book that I was like, should I stop at the shop and pick it up? But I'll get it next time. I'll be busy this weekend.
And then I saw this. I think this is on Bueller Show, Ludocrats. I was reading the first book. It cracks me up. So I got the second one, which is weird because the first one came out like last week or a week ago, 2 weeks ago. So I picked up the second one in the series. This should be the second. Yeah, this is the second one. 2 heroic acts of viscera, dividing, and yeah, whatever. It's a little weird. It's a little different. I mean, this guy starts off the first one naked the whole time.
Nobody else but me is asking to show the covers closer to the camera so you can see.
Oh,
watch this.
What?
There you go. Yeah, I've heard a lot of things. I've heard a lot of people talk about Ludocrats, but I have no idea what it's about. Strange Adventures 2. Kids. So what company put this one out?
Blaze.
I've never heard of Blaze.
A Blaze.
A Blaze, okay.
A Blaze.
Gotcha.
And I was amazed that, they had it right away. Kelly over at BMT, Buy Me Toys, she's like, oh, yeah, we got that. I asked for Bitterroot, but she had to order that. And Bitterroot number 7. Okay, there's only one reason I ordered it is because it was a Purple Rain cover. What's the deal with Purple Rain covers in the comic book community?
Yeah, they love them.
And that's one. And yes, I specifically picked this cover. I thought this was cool on a motorcycle. Can you draw this, Jamie?
I can copy that really well, but that's why people like Greg Capullo make a living at comics, and I don't.
Outlaw.
That's a really great cover. Yes. I like that. I like Miles' suit.
Yeah. I saw something where it had like all the Spider-Man suits ever. It's just like, that's a crazy amount. Val Halverson, I think his name is, or Holverson.
Gotcha. St.
Louis's finest. And then this thick book. Oh, how thick that is. And they're supposed to be like 6 books, and they're all supposed to be this thick. And then depth of storytelling. Now, I was watching Blurred Without Fear, as I normally do.
And Rob Boswell was asking about that. Where's that?
Okay.
Did Coach Vic say blurred? Yeah.
Blurred. Black nerd. Blurred.
Hey, Mr. Gretzky. Good to see you.
It's a great channel. You should check it out. I mean, they do talk a lot about black characters and black books and things, but not just that. I mean, if you go through, it talks about how the new mayor, can the new mayor save Hell's Kitchen or something like that? Being, I guess Daredevil becomes a mayor. Spoiler alert. Or maybe I'm wrong.
He was the mayor. Is he the mayor again?
I don't remember. It could have been an old video. When I found Smash, I started watching all their old videos, and I realized, oh, this is 2 years old. But I was watching him, and he was talking about, said, you guys complain that there's no new black characters. Said, well, for starters, when there's a new black character, you need to buy the book. And then he started talking about this new one. He said, a book that everybody should be reading. Stealth.
I watched that video.
Stealth. And I was like really intrigued by it. I mean, I know the spoiler at the end, but I still thought I was interested. So here you go.
Oh. Because,
of course.
I was going to pick this up when I go back in. So thanks.
I didn't know if you saw that video or not, but it was an interesting character, right?
I did, and he sold me on
it. Exactly. He sold me on it. I wanted to make sure I had somebody I could read it with. Cool. And so then, earlier this week, Jamie, was it this week? No, I guess it was last week.
Last Friday.
Jamie texted, Victor, there's only 6 people on the wheel for Disco Bay's wheel, and you're one of them. So I was like, oh, let me get on there, because if you're not there, you can't win. So I get on there just in time to see that somebody else won. And so then later at night, he told me to sub up Mr. Miracle, because they're trying to get him to 900, and if he gets to 880, they're going to, MetaRock is going to give away a prize pack. Well, or was 980. 980. They got the 980 right before the show closed. Once again, the odds are 1 in 8, and I won. Woo! Nice. Now, let's get a better look at what I won. Packed this up great. I mean, I should expect nothing less than greatness from MetaRock. By the way, really great episode of Issue at Hand with him this week. You guys have a chance to go back to J Hood's timeline. Yeah, archives.
Just go back to my channel and look at the last video, but skip about the first 3 minutes. It was a rough start on my part.
Coach Vic, congrats! Thank you. Oh, having a much easier time than Disco Bay had this morning. All right, here we go.
Take that.
He's going to recycle that.
Nope. We live out here in the country. We don't do much recycling. In the county, we live in the county, so we're not required to recycle, which we should be by now, but we're a bit old-fashioned.
I don't know what we're required to do. I just take my stuff out to the dumpster. There is one recycling dumpster that's pretty big, but I don't use it. So here we have Spawn 300. I guess it's a coloring book version.
Well, it's a black and white variant by Greg Capullo.
Oh, nice.
The Spawn 300, I think, was one of those issues where they did like hundreds of different variants.
Oh, okay. And then we have Spider Woman #1 Alpha. I'm not sure what that means.
Spider Woman,
Spider Women.
Gotcha. And Spider Gwen and Silk. That's cool.
Who's Silk?
This other spider character over there. She's relatively new.
Oh, okay.
She's not talked about as much as Spider Gwen.
And this is the one that Jamie was hoping to get.
When I texted him, I was like, I want to get to this drawing so I can win this series right here.
West Coast Avengers 1 through 4.
I tuckered out before the show ended, so I lost and Vic won.
Matter of fact, I texted him on one. He said he just got off 10 minutes ago. I'm looking forward to all the West Coast Avengers books I've been acquiring lately.
So that's the miniseries that we.
Yeah, I do like miniseries. I'm surprised there's not more of them because I got the Fantastic Four versus somebody miniseries.
The X-Men.
Yeah, versus the X-Men miniseries, and got a couple of miniseries. And let me see, is there more than one book in here? No. Okay.
Yeah, there's two books, one back to back with a backing board.
This is Dark Knights: The Last Crusade.
It's a good book. Ooh. And the shiny Mylar.
Is that what that is? And this is my main man, Howard T. Duck.
That's such a cool cover. He's a little crazy.
I don't know if you saw him in the Guardians of the Galaxy movie.
I miss this comment from Ed Rogg. He had a blast with us that night, too.
It was fun. Duck's Head Soup. Yeah.
My mistake. There were only 24 variants of Spawn 300.
And then we have the New Mutants. #3, I guess. I'm not sure.
Yep.
And then the Amazing Spider-Man.
Little black cat action on there.
Black Cat.
Cool.
Ooh. Nice. So I'm excited to get into those two. Those are going on the stack. So hopefully I'll have them done by New Year's Eve.
As long as you don't take up the rule of I'm not going to buy anything else until I read what I've got.
Yeah, right. I mean, I might not tell my wife I'm buying something else. No. Now, Jamie talked to me. Well, actually, I feel like we need to be getting commission from Ernie for this. There's another video Bird Without Fear did, and he talked about Martha Washington. And basically said this is a character that more people should be talking about. And it's a really cool video. And Jamie texted me one day, said he wanted to do some type of issue at hand. Or I'll let you do it. You're the pro. Some sort of issue at hand, but even more detailed. Because usually we do it on one book. But he was thinking that if we could do like a whole series, like a mini series, kind of like the West Coast Avengers one. And that way we can go in depth and detail in the whole storyline and develop a full character, a full breadth of the story. And instead of just one issue and talking about how great that is. And so one of the things they talked about was Martha Washington. Now, when I was coaching Jamie for Comic Gories way back when, I said, okay, Jamie, give me a non-storm superhero cover. And he goes, Martha Washington. I said, Martha Washington? And he went straight to the stack.
Yes, for an African-American woman cover.
Oh, yes, I asked for a black female cover. Yes. And went straight to the stack. I was like, I've never heard of this one. She's got a chain of bullets wrapped around her. And I'm like, who is this? Then he starts telling me, like, well, that's interesting. So he said, I was thinking about doing this series. And one of the people, there's this Give Me Liberty series. And I was like, Give Me Liberty. I said, yes, a Martha Washington series. Then I said, Blurred Without Fear just did a video series about that. And he said, that's where I got the idea from. And so I said, well, then he sent me a link to it on eBay. And so I just had to pick it up. Let me figure out if I can see what order this is. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I picked up this Give Me Liberty series.
Frank Miller and Dave Gibbons. So Frank Miller, wrote Dark Knight Returns, Batman Year One, a lot of Daredevil stuff. And Dave Gibbons is, most well known for his work on Watchmen. He was the artist on that show, on that series.
So, if you guys want to pick this up and read it, we're going to do something with this here sometime in the next 5-6 months, the next couple of few months or so.
Yeah, if anyone wants to talk about this book, read it and talk about it with us, please get in touch with me.
And these are thick books. These are nice sized books too. It's Dark Horse Comics, and he just said Frank Miller. I hear a lot about Frank Miller in this community, so I'm assuming that's something good.
Well, like everyone else, people have varying opinions on Frank Miller.
Well, I only seem to get one opinion on Rob Liefeld.
Don't talk to Discovery Bay about Rob Liefeld.
But those are the books I got. I'm excited about them. Really excited about the West Coast Avengers, Give Me Liberty, Stealth. Look forward to reading the Stealth book.
Yeah, man.
And just some good stuff I picked up lately.
So let's see, had anybody else join us in the chat? We've still got Metarog still here, Rob Boswell, the Gray Man stopped in from, can I say jolly old England? He's from over in Great Britain.
Really?
Yep. Nobody else but me is still here. Yeah, so.
Well, I got something to say about jolly old England. I'm sorry because I know I'm going to get the whole UK thing mixed up already just off the bat. But I was watching the video and they were having I don't know if it's a Black Lives Matter. What? I always say Black Lives Rally Matter. A Black Lives Matter rally or something like that. And John Boyega, he was up there. He was just preaching. He was worked all the way up. So I may never work in Hollywood again, but I'm taking a stand here. I'm like, okay. I was like, all right. But I just think it's interesting that, speaking to England, that was happening over there. And then your stories are happening all over the world. I'm just like, this is different. This is different.
Vic, he offered this idea of talking about these books that he got in, and that's really why we want to do the show tonight. And I don't want to make it look like this is a bait and switch. Like, come look for the comics, and we're going to talk about something else. But there's something that I did want to talk on screen with my friend here, and that's everything that's kind of going on in the world with. Okay, little secret. He's black. And I'm white.
Actually, Cocoa Brown, but
and we get along. And we love each other. And I just want to take a few minutes to kind of talk this out because I'm a white guy living out here in the sticks. I didn't play sports, so I don't have a lot of black friends. I got Vic and maybe 1 or 2 other people that I know.
Really?
Yeah.
You have other people?
A few of them from church.
Oh, yeah.
And then one in South Bend that I don't think you've ever met. It's also a friend of Al's. But, and hey, we got Hero and the Kid joining in too.
Thank you, Hero. I'm pretty sure you recommended this book to me. Well, you talked about it on your show. But.
So, yeah. So me as, the white guy, seeing all this unrest going on, I get it. I understand. They killed this guy, and I say this guy. Here's the terrible thing. I say this guy, and this has happened numerous times, and to me, I lose track of them. As a black person, do you know all the names? Not all the names, but the more recent ones.
Yeah, I know the more recent ones, but yeah.
So my point is, I've understood for a long time that, black people get you get knocked around, you get, there's pay inequality, there's all these situations where black people get treated as secondhand citizens sometimes, not all the time. And when I see, riots, I don't agree with riots and looting. I agree with peaceful protests for sure. As everybody's got a right to do that. But me not fully understanding or relating to, I don't get hip hop. There's a lot. To me, it comes down to we address what we're comfortable talking about, and for me, I kind of not ignore what I don't understand, but I shy away from it and then go back and just concentrate on what I do know.
Right.
So, for a person in my situation, all I can think of is we need to have conversations, and then we need actions after the fact. If we just talk about things don't change.
Right. And that's the one thing I was talking to my dad about, because my dad, he's in high school. After the team would go out to eat after a game, he had to sit in the car. I mean, he's the only black guy live. I mean, you think this is country? He lived out in the country, but he had to sit in the car with the coach after the game. On Saturdays, when the movies were free, he couldn't go. And the other time he'd go to the movies, he had to sit in the back 2 rows of the theater. And this is a town where people liked him, liked him a lot. But they had still specific rules for him. And I was talking to him about this because my dad was born in 1947. Okay. And I asked him, I said, does this seem different to you? He said, yeah, this feels different. This seems different. I know somebody I like to listen to a lot, Dan Levitar, is talking about, it took the world shutting down for everybody to finally hear the shouts of black people. Because there's this book that's called Why Black People Shout. And the basic premise is black people shout because they've been trying to be heard time and time and time again, and nobody hears them, so they have to shout. And Dan Levitar said, the world had to shut down and be quiet in order for them to be heard. And so just think that's interesting. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff happening. There's a lot of stuff going on. And I hate to say this out loud because it's going to sound really weird, and I don't want to really get political at all. But I think the great thing about the person that's in office right now, the person that's president right now, is it's not being led from the top. It's not being led from various political leaders or famous people. This is being led from people. There's people all over the place. And in spite of whatever roadblocks that may come up, people are trying to be heard. People are trying to make changes. Now, I do think there's going to be a lot of overcorrection. We talked about that the other day. Still don't know how I feel about the whole ancient monument thing, but hey, you know what? There's going to be some overcorrection, and I'm fine with that. I mean, I can't get bent out of shape with that. Like I was telling some friends, I said, if they're going to change Mrs. Butterworth's bottle and everything, that's fine. Just don't touch the formula. Don't go new Coke on Mrs. Butterworth, all right? Because that's the best thing known to mankind. A little expensive. They could bring down the price on that, help everybody out a lot. But, but there's going to be some overcorrection. I mean, you have to go with that. But this is really just different.
So, yeah, I'm not going to highlight some of those comments.
But
I'm not going to, there are comments in the chat that I'm going to leave there and let them speak for themselves. Maybe this says it best. We are all humans. We all deserve the same dignity. And, people talk about, the whole movement, the name is Black Lives Matter. And you hear people shout back, well, Blue Lives Matter too. I'm like, yeah, that's the thing. Everyone matters too. And
yeah.
The Black Lives Matter movement is just to me, it's badly named, but it kind of is what it is now. But it's really the whole emphasis is just to let's, like you said, you have to shout, you have to say it overtly, maybe over the top in order to get the attention.
Yeah, like I didn't even think I'd talk about this, but like even as far as the police are concerned, I know there's a lot of them out there doing their job. They're doing a good job. 800,000 police officers, you know. But I know countless times I've been pulled over just to see what I'm doing, where I'm going. You know, I break out in hives. I mean, not really, but you know, I get nervous. I just start sweating. I remember one time I was going to pay my utilities, and this police officer was following me. I'm just like, great, this guy's following me, and I'm just like, what's he doing? You know, is he looking me up? Is he? And no, that's following. And then once I got to the utilities, I'm like, oh yeah, the police station's right across the street. but I was just so nervous the whole time. It's just because I've had constant interaction since I was 5, basically. You know, police officer constantly, what are you up to? Stay out of trouble. I'm not getting in any trouble. You know, it's just even like I used to go to my friend's house after school. Like he was in, got to a point where he was in junior high and I was in high school. And so high school got out either after or before the junior high. And so I'd walk over to his house. I'm walking over to his house by myself after school. Cops, I'm telling you, kid you not, same police officer would come by and stop me at least once every 2 weeks. Like, where are you doing? Where are you going? I'm like, dude, you know where I'm going. You know? But it's not just that. I mean, there's just been lots of things. And I guess, you know, my dad, because of how he was raised, he tried his best to raise me in a way that was, or race didn't matter, or race was irrelevant, so to speak. And I understand that because he went through a lot of stuff. He went through a lot of crap growing up. And, you know, whereas, you know, he was playing baseball when he was a little kid. And he struck out and people start calling him the N-word. I'm like, it's a kid. Who does this? But, and, no, I give him credit for that. He's just trying, but there's a lot of stuff I feel like I missed out on and don't understand, but I did understand that I was black. You know, that was made known to me from lots of people. And, but I do feel like there's a lot of people that are reaching out and reaching across. All right, I say all that to get to this. I'm a youth leader at church, right? Been in youth ministry for the last 30 plus years, whatever, and mainly worked in white churches. And I've often wondered, you know, should I be working in a black church? Should I be a youth minister in a black church? But you know, I know even with all this has happened, I realized that I was right where I was supposed to be, because I could just see the impact I made on those students and the impact that they make on their friends, and just to hear them talk about things going on now, and you know, they talk about how I'm giving them a lot of credit and taught them a lot, and it's just really cool to hear that and to see that, because you know, I always wonder if you should be feel like I should be doing more for the black community. You know, mm-hmm. You know, that's why one of the things with comics, like, you know, I'm more interested in black comic books. You know, representation matters. You know, you can see, oh look, there's a black superhero, Isaiah Bradley. Oh yeah, that's interesting. You know, like the coolest, like there's always this joke about being black famous. I don't know if you know Gary Owen, he's a white comedian, but he always talks about how he's black famous, how he's the only person that's a crossover to his own race. Okay. But like I want to get the comic book that when Storm marries what's my dude? Black Panther. And Isaiah Bradley shows up, and it's kind of cool because you can tell somebody wrote this, and like all the black superheroes are like in awe of Isaiah Bradley, and Wolverine's like, "What the hell is that?" You know, and like I'm like, that's that's the coolest thing, because like that was written excellent. I think it was Morales or somebody. Morales might have wrote that. Mm-hmm. Like that's excellent, right? You know, that's why I like, you know, he and I joke about how much I love Riri, Ironheart. He's like, eh.
Yeah. And it's because I grew up on the classics. I mean, you're excited about the prospect of having a black Batman,
Yeah.
and I'm like, it ain't Bruce Wayne, it ain't Batman. So
They can name him Bruce Wayne. They can be Batman.
Yeah.
I get it. I get it.
So I didn't want to get too deep or serious. I wanted to keep it somewhat lighthearted. And like I told him when I was talking to him earlier today, we're not going to solve anything, in one little sit down conversation.
We're not.
I'm gonna try stealth based on the opinion of a black YouTuber. So maybe that's one step in the right direction. I don't know. But the thing is, it's going to be an ongoing conversation, and I'm a people pleaser. I've tried to find the win-win in everything. And sometimes there isn't a win-win, and it's pick the best you can at the time and the amount of time you're given to choose it. So, but yeah, I just want to thank the audience for kind of sitting through that and maybe taking it in. And I encourage you guys to go and talk to other people, and get more opinions and take in more and open your mind to giving thought to both sides.
And here's the thing, he and I we have a solid relationship. So I've told him he can ask me anything. He tells me I can ask him anything. Like what's it like to have facial hair? But
it's a hassle when it starts curling like Oliver Queen.
But it's if you have relationships with people, feel free to ask whatever. I mean, there's no need to be in fear of the unknown when you don't have to be, And that's one thing I appreciate about our relationship. Now, I did have somebody who texted me out of the blue and asked me to do something like, "Oh, great, now I'm the black expert here," and that bothered me. I don't know why.
Okay, so Rob Boswell's asking an interesting question based on blurred.
Okay.
So if Black Nerd is blurred, is a black Batman black one?
See, I feel like there's already been a black man. No, it's Blank Man, isn't it? That was Damon Wayans.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, and his black cave, black monkey. Yeah, we'll work on
it. You're probably closer to the truth than anyone wants to admit, Rob. Hey, thanks for joining us. Not near mint. So, so we went through all the stuff we had, and we had a little kind of discussion here at the end. You did kind of a recap in the middle of yours or at the end of yours. So, hey, if you arrive late, Rob, feel free to check out the rewind, and we'll end this little video so you guys can go about the rest of your evenings.
Oh, yeah.
Have fun time out there in YouTube land, and we'll see what do we got coming up. No show tomorrow, a week from tomorrow. I needed to talk to Mrs. J. Hood about an opportunity next Friday night, so you might see me on another Friday night.
Hey, I might not be home. I'm going to be here.
Okay. It might be a crowded room there.
I'll be over in the corner.
Anyone interested in checking out Give Me Liberty with us? I also want to do Ronin, also by Frank Miller. We're gonna call that show Tales from the Dollar Bin, because we're gonna focus on cheapy books that good quality books you can get for cheap on eBay or out of dollar bins, and we'll do those on an irregular basis whenever the fancy strikes us. So, with that, I'll show the book.
Yep. She's holding a Raggedy Ann doll.
True facts. All right, Dave Enrique. Yeah, he got a wrench last time. You didn't notice. We'll see you next time. Remember, faith, family, comic books. We'll see you next time, guys.